5 members of the Iranian women's soccer team have reportedly applied for asylum in Australia after the team remained silent during the Iranian national anthem at a match at the AFC Women's Asian Cup, held in Australia. Following what was framed as an act of defiance by many media outlets, fears have been raised for the safety of the team on returning to Iran, as state media has branded the team as wartime traitors. In times of war, traitors must be dealt with more harshly. Anyone who takes even a single step against the country during wartime must face stronger consequences, Iranian state television presenter Mohammad Reza Shahbazi stated. Take this issue of not singing the national anthem in our women's football team and that photo that was published. This is no longer some symbolic protest or demonstration. In wartime conditions, going there and refusing to sing the national anthem is the height of shamelessness and betrayal. Both the people and the authorities should treat them as traitors in a time of war, not as individuals staging some kind of symbolic protest, he continued. The disgrace of this shameless betrayal should remain on their shoulders, and they must be properly dealt with so that others take a warning from it. The team hasn't clarified their actions, with some viewing their silence as an act of defiance and others as an act of mourning, the Associated Press reported. At least 7 team members left the team hotel, 5 of whom have reportedly applied for asylum, while the whereabouts of the others remain unknown, according to CNN. Sources told The Athletic that Australian authorities assisted the players in leaving the hotel, Time reported. On Monday, President Donald Trump posted to Truth Social, saying he has spoken with Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese regarding the Iranian women's soccer team. 5 have already been taken care of, and the rest are on their way, Trump said about the team. Some, however, feel they must go back because they are worried about the safety of their families, including threats to those family members if they don't return, he continued. This follows an earlier Monday post by the president urging Australia to grant asylum to the players. Australia is making a terrible humanitarian mistake by allowing the Iran national women's soccer team to be forced back to Iran, where they will most likely be killed, he said, adding, "The U.S. will take them if you won't." Reza Pahlavi, son of the ousted Iranian Shah, also urged the Australian government to provide support to the players. As a result of their brave act of civil disobedience in refusing to sing the current regime's national anthem, they face dire consequences should they return, he said. The Iran women's national football team, nicknamed the Lionesses, represents Iran in international women's football around the world, and is controlled by the Football Federation, Islamic Republic of Iran. The Iran women's team played its first international match in May 1971 against Italy and first FIFA International in September 2005 against Syria. Asylum in Australia has been granted to many refugees since 1945, when 500,000 Europeans displaced by World War II were given asylum. Since then, there have been periodic waves of asylum seekers from Southeast Asia and the Middle East, with government policy and public opinion changing over the years. Refugees are governed by statutes and government policies which seek to balance humanitarian obligations with national security concerns. This incident highlights the ongoing tensions between Iran and the international community over human rights issues, particularly regarding women's rights and freedom of expression. The players' decision to seek asylum underscores the risks faced by athletes who use their platform to protest against government policies. It also raises questions about the role of sports in political activism and the responsibilities of host countries in protecting athletes from persecution. The Trump administration's involvement adds a layer of geopolitical complexity, as the U.S. seeks to position itself as a defender of human rights while navigating diplomatic relations with Iran. The outcome of this case could set a precedent for how similar situations are handled in the future, affecting not only sports, but also international relations and refugee policies. As the world watches, the fate of these 5 players hangs in the balance, symbolizing the broader struggle for freedom and justice in Iran and beyond.